Importance of moral information, a knowledge of
We
self.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize, and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that there are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Our features and our skin and our blood, why we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.
All right, see Jumbo, everyone. Welcome back to Satora's Black History Corner. I am your host, Catherine Hunter Williams. My co-host, Catherine Blake, will not be with us today, but she will be back on our next program on Monday, May 12th, to speak about a very controversial issue that's going on with American African women regarding unauthorized hairstyles. This will be one of our stories that you may not know about, but is happening today to our women. Make sure you tune in on Monday, May 12th.
Unauthorized hairstyles?
Unauthorized hairstyles.
I gotta tune in for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because I don't want to give it. This was her thing that she was going to do today. And she's not here, so I'm going to just wait and let her do it. Tell the story. I got the story, but I'm not going to do it. Okay.
I'm going to wait till the 12th, but I'm anticipating that.
Good. That's why I say make sure you tune in. Yeah. All right. We'd like to invite you to call in with any questions or comments to 810-208-1854. We not only tell our story about past great and unsung heroes and sheroes, but also about those living in the present day. On our program, we will always tell our story about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We must tell the truth about the bad and the ugliness of our story in order for you to know the good that has taken place throughout our story. Now, I use our story rather than to say his story, because his story has been so whitewashed. So what we do on this program, we go and we research what we call our story. And we come with the truth, like I say, the good, bad, and the ugly. And we have to tell you the bad and the ugly in order for you to know the good that has taken place. So don't misunderstand me when I be saying our story. Actually, I'm replacing his story, History, history, in other words, okay? Today I'm going to tell our story about something I love to pass on, and that's about inventors. John Albert Burr. Now let me give you a little information about the lawnmower, because he was he invented the modern rotary lawnmower in 1899. A lawnmower is a machine that uses one or more revolving blades to cut a lawn to an even height. The blades may be powered either by hand or by pushing the mower forward, or may have an internal combustion engine to spin their blades. Some mowers also include other abilities like mulching or collecting their clippings. I like the ones that collect clippings, personally. That's the kind of lawnmower I like. All right, let's get down to our story about John Albert Burr. He was a prominent 19th century American African inventor. He is best known for his invention of the modern rotary lawnmower. Yeah, thank you, John. Not much is known about Burr's life, but he was influential in engineering circles during his prime. John Burr was born in Maryland in 1848. He was the son of free slaves and worked as a field hand until he was about 17 years old. At 18, he managed, with the patronage of a wealthy American African activist, to attend engineering classes at a nearby private university in Maryland. Burr excelled in his studies. He was one of the brightest students in his cohorts. Now that's something good there, because I don't think that happens a lot today. Of the elders are helping others to go to school, helping them get jobs, to help them in any kind of way possible to help them be able to succeed. Because the elders is who pass on our knowledge and whatever we have to the new generation, so they can come up and then they learn what they learn and they can't pass it on. That's how this keeps going on. That's something we can't stop. That's why I say on the tape that you be hearing, the video that you hear, the CD single, is by a young black man. And I just always ask y'all just to support the brother, because he needs your support. Without your support, he's not going to exist. So do what you got to do, but help the young folks come up. You got to help them. I'm doing my part by letting you hear his CD, and it's a good CD, and it's also my theme for this program. Be proud to be black. All right, back to Mr. Burr. Burr made a comfortable living as a machinist. He spent most of his time servicing farm equipment. He was an able repairman and a capable steel worker. He moved to Chicago sometime in the 1870s. There he continued to work in repair and maintenance. He would not begin successful inventing until the 1890s. John Burr invented the modern rotary lawnmower in 1899. The design was intended to prevent the clogging that plagues other mowers. John, can you put up his patent? Lawn care at that time was a nightmare of overly complex machinery and dangerous contraptions. The modern powered mowers of the present day were still decades away. The rotary invention would pave the way for a much safer and easier labor. Now that rotary, for the one that we seen earlier, that had the what they call an early cylinder reel mower, showed of fixed cutting blades in the front and rear roller of wheel-driven rotary blades. If you had a lot of grass, man, you would really be doing some hard work with that one. So I'm so glad that we have came a long way as far as lawnmowers are concerned.
No, this one looks like it doesn't have a mower, like the motor attached. Like,
it doesn't.
It doesn't, yeah.
No,
I've used these before.
I have too.
Yeah, and it's
no easy joke when you got a large.
It's about three times the effort you would for a powered mower.
And you have to keep it. You have to continually do this. Right. Keep it at a short length. If you let it get long, you forget it.
You're using a scythe to cut it first, then you use that to get down to level.
So, I'm so glad that this came a long way from that. They still sell those though.
Yeah, you see this backyard here at the studio, right?
Yeah.
One summer, all of our mowers failed. We didn't have the money to buy a new one. Couldn't find a good one, used one for a good price. So we had one of those in the garage. I had to take it all apart, oil it up, and I had to do mowing with one of those. And we got over an acre here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, all together, all the three houses together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had to push that for a full. And it was one of the hottest years on record.
Take it as good exercise.
I was wiped out each time I did that.
I had one that actually has his own motor and everything, and I got a kind of larger lawn around my home. And I did one time, just went down that hill one time, and came back up, that was it. I gave that lawnmower away. I gave the lawnmower away. And now I have somebody come in to cut that because it just wore me out. I said, no, I can't do this.
But the thing is, could you imagine doing it with a scythe or some kind of like something where you actually had to kneel down and cut the grass?
Oh, no,
That's
no,
what they used to do before those came around.
No. Okay. The rotor mower enabled Burr to focus his efforts elsewhere. He patented several subsequent improvements to his original design. In addition, he invented several devices for sifting and dispersing mulch. Royalties kept him comfortable for many years. He was able to travel and lecture in his later life. Burr's life was long and a productive one. When he died of influenza in 1926, he held over 30 U.S. patents. And you can find all his patents on the internet. All you got to do is type in his name, John Albert Burr, and just put patents and all of them will pop up. Most of his inventions were centered on easing the burdens of farm workers and laborers. His early experience as a field hand had instilled a deep respect for the plight of the workers into his morality. He died in a comfortable obscurity, a quiet activist for the poor and the downtrodden. John Albert Burr is a quiet presence in the history of inventing. The lack of information about his life makes it hard to pinpoint his influences and impacts on later American African inventors. And I also wanted to say this, that when I was doing research of his patents, that was the only patent I could find. So you might have a problem finding all of his patents, but you could at least go in and try it, But because I wanted at least a couple more of his inventions to put up. But like I said, I couldn't find it, so somebody else with a little bit more knowledge on research could. While he may no longer be a prominent figure, his invention revolutionized lawn care. He helped ease the load of millions of put up on laborers, and that legacy alone is worth preserving. That's our story about John Albert Burr, a prominent 19th century American African inventor. All right. My brother has one of them lawnmowers, John, one of them kind that you had up there that you push. We used to just call them push
mowers.
Yeah. That's what we used to call it.
I had one that's where the stew is at now. I had one when I was living here, and it fell apart on me eventually. I couldn't find, in the grass, I couldn't find the parts. So I mean, basically, I couldn't find, replacement parts, so I had to throw it away. But I love that thing, actually. When the grass is low.
I think he loved his too because he was like cutting it every other day.
Yeah, it's actually quite pleasant, and it actually cuts the grass so it doesn't burn as easily when you do have high sun.
Yeah.
It cuts it so it doesn't. When you do it with a power mower, a lot of times you can scalp your lawn. With these, those old push mowers, I think they use them on some greens, and they still use something like that on greens and golf courses around the country.
But they have to do it all the time.
Yeah, that's
because it's a clipping to me. That's the way it was to me. It just was clipping.
Yeah, it just cuts a little bit off, but it does make it look. When you got a well manicured yard and you're using those, you can tell the difference on how those push mowers like that than using a power one. It's much more. I think it looks better that way when you use one of those push mowers like that.
Yeah, well, I like the lines.
Yeah.
I like slanted lines, as long as it's some kind of design going on.
Well, you're supposed to change that up, too, every so many weeks. You're supposed to change the way you cut, so you get the, you don't, basically allow the grass to get weakened.
I learned something. See, I learned something from John all the time. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because this person that I have cutting my grass so far for the last few years, she cuts it the same way all the time.
Well, see,
she goes, that straight line.
Well, for smaller yards and for like the average yard, that's fine. But when you're doing like something like where you actually depend on the grass for like part of the playing field, like in a golf course or something like that, you're definitely supposed to cut it at different times, different ways, different times of the season. It's all formula.
So it goes straight and then sometimes diagonally.
It depends too on. Actually, just changed it up. There's like every so many weeks they change the way they cut it, and it's just random.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Thank you for telling me because I will get her. I pay a lot of money to try to keep my lawn up. I like working out there in my yard, and I like a good looking yard.
And still on the flow of the yard too. Like if you got a lot of obstacles, you got a certain way of doing it, then it might be the best way. But like you got trees, plantings, or whatever, berms. You got to go around. You can understand that. But I change it up all the time when I mow. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, John, for that information, because I did not know that. I will make sure that she does that. All right. Let's continue on with our stories. You ever heard the soul saying that I want the real McCoy? That means you want the real thing, what you know to be of the highest quality, not an inferior imitation. I want the real McCoy. So now we're going to tell our story about Elijah McCoy, who is an engineer and an inventor of over 50 patents to his credit. Now, we talked about Elijah McCoy before on this program, but the other day when I was researching inventors, I seen something new that I didn't see before. We know about the oil cup, and John, you can put that patent up about the oil cup, which is where it's the lubrication. There it goes. Elijah McCoy was issued, this is his first patent, on July 12, 1872 for his improvement in lubricators for steam engines. McCoy continued to improve upon his design and invented several more improvements. Railroads and shipping lines began using McCoy's new lubricators, and the Michigan Central Railroad promoted him to an instructor in the use of new inventions. Later, Elijah McCoy became a consultant to the railroad industry on patent matters. That lubricant, they called it the oil cup. Okay, let's get some little history of our story about him. I'm sorry. He was born in Colchester, Ontario, the son of fugitive slaves who had escaped from Kentucky through the Underground Railroad. At age 15, McCoy traveled to Edinburgh, Scotland for an apprenticeship and study, and was certified as a mechanical engineer before returning to the United States. That's what my grandson, he goes to Kettering University, and he's studying to be a mechanical engineer. Ooh. Maybe John here get a patent or invent something, because I'll be throwing things out to him to invent for me.
There's a lot of people in Flint who actually have a lot of there's a lot of people from Flint who have patents. I mean, back in the day when GM was going to full tilt, a lot of their engineers, they built stuff and designed stuff that was beyond the pale of most automotive engineers. And so there's a lot of stuff out there. If you do a search on it, you'll find that there's a lot of patents issued to people from Flint from like say the 20s all the way up to the late mid 70s, 80s.
Well, maybe my grandson will get one.
Yeah,
become a multi-billionaire. Well, millionaire ain't it no more. It's about being a billionaire now.
I'd be happy with being a millionaire. I'd be happy with it.
I'd be happy with it too.
Yeah.
But that's the term they're using today. It's about being a billionaire.
Well, it's a potential for marketing is much better. I mean, let's face it, you could create your own website and reach people from all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you never had that potential mostly that you have with the internet.
Well, I hope if he do get an invention that he doesn't forget his granny. Or grandma, as he called me.
Well, he probably won't.
You never know about these chaps today. But I always give him something. I throw stuff out to him all the time. Hey, I want you to see if you can invent this,
Well, actually, a couple of people I talked to who have patents actually was family members, their grandmothers or moms or dads, suggesting stuff. They took up the challenge and they did
it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. Thank you, John, because I sure be throwing it out to him. Put the thought in his mind, to invent something. Because he could come up, he got a young mind, he could come up with stuff.
My mom had a cousin whose husband went to GMI, back when Kettering still GMI, and when he retired from General Motors, he was the supervisor and engineer, he actually went on and he actually helped develop some medical equipment. He helped design or adapt, maybe they already had one in existence, but he made modifications on it, and that's what he did after he retired from GM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kettering used to be, what was the name of it before it became?
General Motors Institute.
General Motors, GMI, wasn't it?
GMI, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now it's Kettering University.
Yeah, so it's I think it's named after one of the people who was one of the founders of the either General Motors or one of the bigger engineers I mean, I think it might even be connected to like Sloan Kettering. I think that might be the same family.
Well, I think from my grandson that it's the best engineering school in America.
There's MIT, which is always good to it's very prestigious in Massachusetts because it's in Massachusetts. But pound for pound, Michigan's got GMI or Kettering, and they also have Michigan Tech. And Michigan Tech actually specialized in mining engineering back years ago, which is kind of on the wane because the copper mines, been pretty much like totally mined out up in the UP.
So they're about neck to neck.
But yeah, there's some great people coming out of all those schools. I mean, name brand stuff, man. MIT, you got somebody from MIT. They might just be floating by the name, but they don't actually do anything with it. You got somebody who might become from more humble origin, say GMI, Kettering, whatever. It's what you do with something, not where you come from, really.
Well, I've seen it change my grandson because when he went in, he was a naive little young man. Now he's a man. He's 21 now, and he's acting more like a man. More responsible than he did when he first went in.
And that's a prestigious thing for him to accept it because they actually have a tendency to take more foreign students now than they did. Years ago, pretty much everybody came through GMI were from this area. But now they take people from all over the world. So that is something to take some pride in. If you're
I am very proud of him. Yeah. All right, let's get back to our story. Elijah McCoy worked in Michigan. And I don't know if a lot of y'all don't know that he lived here in Michigan. He lived in Detroit. He died, too, in Detroit. So, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. He worked in Michigan in a home-based shop where he developed inventions. He worked at home, y'all. He did this at home. And improvements on them. He obtained his first patent on July 12, 1872 for the automobile lubricator that we had shown for oiling steam engines on locomotives and ships, an invention that greatly benefited the railroad industry by enabling trains to run more efficiently. In 1920, he formed the Elijah McCoy Manufacturing Company. And now on this other one, it's called About.com Inventors. It says that he has 57. On the other one, the Engineering Daily says he had 50 patents to his credit, but on this one it says he had 57 patents for his inventions during his lifetime. His best known invention was the cup that I showed you earlier. Through a small bore tube, machinists and engineers who wanted genuine McCoy lubricators might have used the expression the real McCoy. I want the real McCoy. His parents, as I said, were slaves, and their names were George and Mildred McCoy, and they had fled Kentucky for Canada on the Underground Railroad. George McCoy enlisted in the British forces and in return he was awarded 160 acres of land for his service. When Elijah was 3, his family moved back to the United States, settling in Detroit, Michigan. He had 11 brothers and sisters. In 1868, Elijah McCoy married Elizabeth Stewart, who died 4 years later. A year later, McCoy married his second wife, Mary Eleanor Delaney. The couple had no children. At the age of 15, Elijah McCoy served as a mechanical engineering apprentice in Edinburgh, Scotland. Afterwards, he returned to Michigan to pursue a position in this field. However, the only job he found was that of a locomotive fireman and oiler for the Michigan Central Railroad. The fireman on the train was responsible for fueling. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. Yep, fireman was responsible for fueling the steam engine and the oiler lubricator, the engine's moving parts, as well as the train axles and bearings. Because of his training, he was able to identify and solve the problems of engine lubrication and overheating. At that time, trains needed to periodically stop and be lubricated to prevent overheating. Elijah McCoy developed a lubricator for steam engines that did not require the train to stop. His lubricator used steam pressure to pump oil wherever it was needed. Now, Elijah McCoy not only revolutionized lawn care by patenting the turtle-shaped lawn sprinkler, and today he's widely recognized as the father of the turtle-shaped irrigation system. Yeah, there it is. I got a patent of it also, John, up there. Sprinklers like the one, that's the patent, but the sprinklers like the one you've seen before have been possible without pioneering, would not have been possible without pioneering breakthroughs of Mr. McCoy. Now that patent you can put back up there again. Yeah, there it goes. In 1920, McCoy opened his own company, as I said earlier, the Elijah McCoy Manufacturing Company. Unfortunately, Elijah McCoy suffered in his later years, enduring a financial, mental, and physical breakdown. They don't go into detail of what that financial breakdown was, but you just about can imagine. I know he should have gotten extraordinarily rich on that sprinkler, that turtle sprinkler, because you see that all the time. You see those kind of sprinklers all around everywhere in people's lawns and stuff. I'd like to find that one right there and use for my yard. McCoy joined the realm of his ancestors, beloved ancestors, on October 10th, 1929, from senile dementia caused by hypertension after spending a year in Eloise Infirmary in Michigan. Okay, that's our story of Elijah McCoy, the inventor of the oil cup, which was a lubricator and improvement oil cup, and it received patent 614307 on 11/15/1898, and also he revolutionized lawn care by the patenting the turtle-shaped lawn sprinkler, and it looks just like a turtle, and that's awesome how he got it and how the design of it is. Can you put that design back up, John? Yeah. See up there where his mouth is and how the hose goes in there and then through his body it comes out on the bottom picture, and it shows how it's watering the lawn. But the other picture actually shows it the full turtle and then the hose going in through the side. That's awesome. Now that's U.S. patent number D31549, and it was patented on September 26, 1899. I'm sure there are more patents that we could find, or designs, or the pictures of his patents of different things that he have made. But this was the sprinkler was something new for me. I had not seen that when I knew about the oil cup. And as I said before, we had talked about it before. But I just wanted to bring you a little bit more about the real McCoy, Elijah McCoy. And that's our story on Elijah McCoy, and also on John Albert Burr, who invented the lawnmower rotary blade mower patent in 18, what it says, on the 5th month, 9th day in 1899, invented one of the first rotary blade mowers. And this black inventor's patent number is 624749. That's for you engineers out there, because my grandson be telling me about that. You gotta have the numbers, Grandma. You gotta have the numbers. Okay, so the engineers know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Satora's Black History Corner internet program comes to you via satellite at www.ustream TV channel Flint Talk Radio. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month starting at 3:30 p.m. Also, be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. Well, we hope you enjoyed the song you heard at the beginning of our program, Be Proud to Be Black, which is our theme song, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And if you would like to support this young man, like I had talked to you earlier about supporting our young people, help them get on their feet, move them forward, and get information about his CD single, you can contact TP at 810-962-3258. We must support our own. That number once again is 810-962-3258. And like I say, please tune in on Monday, May 12th to hear our story about the unauthorized hairstyles. It's a very controversial issue. It's been going on a while, but now it's coming out to the public. And just make sure you tune in to hear about what's going on with the American African women today. Okay, getting tied tongue, I guess. As always, I like to say asante, which means in Swahili, thanks to all of you who have watched our program today. And if you like what you have seen and heard, pass it on to others. Until next time, keep on keeping on with us, along with the sounds of Be Proud to Be Black and with the celebration of our story all year long. Mother's Day is coming up on May 11th. Be sure to celebrate your mother. Take her out to dinner, give her breakfast in bed, gifts. Show love to your mother. For without her, you would not be here. You are blessed, and he keeps you safe and in his perfect peace. Perfect hotep, which means peace. I got ahead of myself as I always do, John. Until next time, see you then.
The importance of moral reformation, a knowledge of
We
self.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize, and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that there nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Our features and our skin and our blood, while we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.